Hello and happy Labor Day weekend. Casey O'Mara, Director of Curriculum. Last year, I started to record myself in addition to sharing out a Google Doc that had an update each month of curriculum, instruction, and assessment happenings in Slate Valley. And so here's to the 2022-2023 school year and the updates. In August, I did share the curriculum, instruction, and assessment guide and the assessment plan for this school year that is now underway. I did want to make certain to highlight now that we are going to, after Labor Day, begin working with students to complete STAR 360 assessment, and that assessment plan identifies what grade levels take which of the different assessments. Mostly that identification of different assessments has to do with our youngest students. And so you can see here that there is a cut score that we're using to make certain students are being assessed in the most appropriate manner. So a first grade student may have already reached the 75th percentile on the early literacy assessment through STAR, and therefore would now work through the reading assessment that's part of STAR. For our second grade students, depending upon how they've performed, if they have an IEP or an EST, they could still potentially take the early literacy assessment. But aside from those students, we want everyone to take the STAR reading assessment in second grade. In terms of locating that 75th percentile that I spoke of, you can certainly reach out to an interventionist in your building. They are useful in helping navigate the different reports in STAR. As well, you can reach out to an instructional coach. Abby, Lynn, Molly, Kristen will certainly support in any way necessary to not only help you locate the materials needed to figure out which assessment is appropriate for which students, but also when you actually work with students during a STAR 360 assessment, they can be available to help out. These assessments are not meant to cause any worry in your heads or students. It's really just an opportunity for us to figure out where students are as we begin the school year, and kind of a check on our systems to make certain that we have students with the right level of support across our school district in grades, K through 9. STAR is timed. I do experience this as a parent. Living in a district where STAR is used, it can be frustrating. My daughter will come home and talk about how she ran out of time. The time is meant to be there to calibrate what types of questions are most appropriate for what types of students based on what they previously answered. So know that those frustrations might appear for students, but really that's the way in which STAR is able to determine scores based on amounts of time and the challenge and the questions. Walter Ripley is working to make certain that we have accurate student lists, class lists, of students uploaded into the rosters, so that when you go to actually administer STAR, you'll make certain that you see, or you should see, the right students. I took a screenshot and so that you knew where it is you could find STAR 360 if you're not familiar with it. And so it is on the Slate Valley website. There's a link, student quick links, it's there, as well as it's in the bookmarks for all of us. Outside or switching gears from the assessment world and looking at more curricular and instruction in Slate Valley, Brooke had mentioned at opening day about the goal that she has for all of us to partner with different entities in our area to support student learning. And we're working, Abby, Kristen, Molly, Lynn, and myself, to partner with Ellie Moriarty and Matt Moriarty at Castleton University around the history project, Castleton History Project, and there's a link there. Here's Matt. I'm not sure if Ellie is in this picture, but she probably is. And this can give you a little bit more information around that project. And we are aiming to connect the curriculum in grades 3, 4, 5, and 6 to the work at the Granger House, and then provide an experience for students to actually be able to go on site and participate in an archaeological dig around the Granger House and participate in the Hidden History Project. So kind of takes the instructional approach of experiential learning, and then curricularly it ties to social studies. Certainly there are some elements of English, and we could even incorporate aspects of math if necessary, but primarily social studies is what we're focused on for the curriculum link. I also did put a few more links to how it is Castleton University is hoping to kind of use what's found around the Granger House to establish a museum and learning lab. And WCAX did a report over the summer where they interviewed some students that were participating in the archaeological dig. If you're interested, you can check that out as well. Then I've included 3 different pieces that really resonated with me as I thought about Slate Valley's mission and vision and the strategic plan that Brooke has shared. One of the articles speaks to identifying relationships that students have in and outside of school, and how potentially we could have an impact on helping grow those relationships that students might have, those positive relationships where they're identifying members of the community that could help support them as they go to reach whatever their goals might be in progressing through school. Also found this interesting. I don't do as good a job as I would like of getting student perception data as they exit school. Something that's very neat about the 3 questions that were asked of graduates, high school graduates who were interning at XQ, was that they really recognized the efforts that teachers put forward, and that in this example here, it might not always be shown through appreciation in the classroom, but students, as they exit high school, certainly recognize the impact that teachers have in sparking an interest in the amount of caring that they provide as students make their way through school systems. Also, something again connected to what Brooke spoke to is ways in which we could better partner kind of public and private. And so this article here speaks to internships and ways in which students can overcome, in this case, homelessness and poverty through school, in identifying an area of interest, and then potentially ways to get certificates or even approach post-secondary schooling to overcome poverty, homelessness, and the challenges that are present there.